Becoming wealthy is often seen as a simple equation of earning more money, but in reality, building and maintaining wealth goes far beyond income. True financial success depends not only on how much you make but also on how strategically you spend and manage what you have. Many people focus on visible symbols of wealth, such as flashy cars, sprawling mansions, designer clothing, and extravagant vacations. While these items may signal affluence to the outside world, they do not equate to genuine financial security or freedom. Real wealth is measured by your ability to generate income through investments, grow your assets, and maintain long-term stability without depending solely on a paycheck. The richest individuals understand the difference between spending for status and spending for value, choosing to avoid expenses that may provide instant gratification but ultimately erode their financial foundation. This guide will reveal the types of spending that even wealthy people steer clear of, emphasizing the habits that preserve and grow true wealth over time. Impulsive luxury spending refers to purchasing high-end items on a whim, motivated more by status, trendiness, or social approval than by actual necessity or long-term value. This includes designer clothing that may never be worn more than a few times, limited edition gadgets that quickly lose relevance, or flashy cars that depreciate the moment they leave the dealership. While such items might provide temporary excitement or the perception of success, they do not contribute to financial growth and are considered liabilities rather than assets. Wealthy individuals avoid this type of spending because their focus is on acquiring things that appreciate in value or generate returns, such as investments, property, or businesses. Psychologically, impulsive buyers are often seeking external validation, trying to impress others or keep up with trends, whereas the truly wealthy prioritize financial independence and long-term stability. They understand that fleeting pleasures from luxury purchases rarely outweigh the benefits of strategic investment and thoughtful, purposeful spending. High-interest debt is one of the fastest ways to erode wealth, and it comes in many forms, including credit cards, payday loans, and certain personal loans. Even seemingly small purchases on credit can snowball into significant financial losses when interest rates are high, often exceeding 20% annually. For example, buying a luxury item with a credit card and carrying the balance can result in paying far more in interest than the original cost, effectively undoing any potential gains from investments. Wealthy individuals understand this danger and deliberately avoid consuming debt for non-essential purchases. Instead, they use debt strategically, such as taking out a mortgage on an investment property that generates income or leveraging low-interest business loans that can multiply returns. By steering clear of high-interest obligations, they protect their assets, maintain liquidity, and ensure that every dollar spent either preserves or increases their long-term financial position, rather than vanishing in unnecessary interest payments. Trend chasing is the habit of constantly purchasing the newest technology, fashion items, or fad products, driven by the desire to stay current or appear fashionable. While keeping up with trends may provide temporary excitement or social approval, it carries hidden costs that can quietly drain wealth over time. Most trend-based items lose value almost immediately, and the constant cycle of buying, discarding, and replacing products creates a pattern of financial leakage that is rarely obvious in the short term but significant over years. This behavior offers instant gratification but comes at the expense of long-term security, as money that could have been invested in appreciating assets is instead spent on items that rapidly depreciate. Wealthy individuals recognize this pattern and deliberately avoid it, focusing instead on purchases that combine quality, durability, and lasting value. By investing in items that endure and maintain usefulness, they preserve both capital and financial stability, prioritizing strategic wealth growth over fleeting trends. Overpriced convenience refers to spending money on services or products that make life slightly easier but come at a disproportionately high cost. Examples include premium food delivery services, pre-packaged meals, and luxury subscription services that offer minimal real benefit. While these may save a few minutes or provide superficial comfort, the cumulative expense can add up significantly over time. Wealthy individuals avoid unnecessary convenience because they understand that true efficiency comes from effective time management, planning, and prioritization, rather than paying others for trivial shortcuts. The concept of opportunity cost is critical here. Money spent on overpriced convenience could instead be invested in income-generating assets, savings, or ventures that grow wealth. Additionally, wealthy people exercise mental discipline, valuing effort that compounds over time rather than fleeting comfort. They recognize that delayed gratification and strategic allocation of resources create far greater returns, and they consistently choose long-term financial benefit over momentary ease or indulgence. Excessive home upgrades and vanity projects are expenses that provide little to no real financial return, yet many people pursue them to showcase status or personal taste. These include constant remodeling, over-decorating, or adding luxury features that do not enhance the property's resale value. Wealthy individuals avoid such status renovations because they prioritize improvements that are functional, durable, and strategically increase property value. They separate pride and ego from financial decisions, understanding that spending for appearances rarely aligns with long-term wealth growth. For instance, a modestly upgraded home in a prime location can outperform an extravagantly remodeled mansion in a less desirable area because location and practical enhancements often dictate market value more than luxury finishes. By focusing on smart investments and functional improvements, wealthy people ensure that every dollar spent contributes to either preserving or increasing their assets, rather than simply satisfying short-term desires or impressing others. Expensive cars as a lifestyle statement are often seen as symbols of success, but they can be one of the most financially draining purchases a person makes. While many chase flashy, brand-new luxury vehicles to impress others, wealthy individuals tend to prioritize practicality and reliability over image. Luxury cars depreciate rapidly, losing a significant portion of their value within the first few years, and their upkeep involves high maintenance costs, expensive insurance, and hidden fees that can accumulate quietly over time. Rather than buying new luxury cars outright, many wealthy people opt to lease vehicles or purchase high-quality used cars that offer performance and durability without the excessive financial burden. This approach allows them to enjoy comfort and functionality while maintaining efficiency in their spending. By focusing on financial prudence over status symbols, wealthy individuals ensure that their transportation choices do not erode wealth but instead align with long-term financial goals and stability. Recurring small expenses, such as daily premium coffee, high-end takeout, or luxury snacks, often appear insignificant on a day-to-day basis but can accumulate into a substantial financial burden over time. Spending $5 to $10 daily may seem trivial, yet over the course of a year, it can amount to several $1,000s, and over decades, these small expenditures can easily reach tens of thousands. Wealthy individuals recognize this compounding effect and often choose to brew coffee at home, prepare meals efficiently, and allocate dining budgets to experiences that offer real value or enjoyment rather than habitual indulgence. Avoiding these small luxuries is not about deprivation but about cultivating financial discipline and awareness. It trains the mind to prioritize spending on items or activities that contribute to long-term wealth and satisfaction. By controlling minor, recurring expenses, wealthy people reinforce habits that protect and grow their resources over the long term. Expensive hobbies that don't yield tangible value can quietly drain both time and money, often disguised as status symbols or personal indulgences. Examples include collecting rare items purely to impress others, participating in extravagant sports with high ongoing costs, or following fleeting fads that provide no lasting benefit. Wealthy individuals are careful to avoid hobbies that consume resources without delivering meaningful returns. However, they do make exceptions for activities that offer networking opportunities, develop useful skills, or have potential investment value, recognizing that some hobbies can contribute to personal or professional growth. The guiding principle is clear: prioritize long-term value over instant gratification. Instead of spending excessively on superficial pleasures, wealthy people allocate time and money to pursuits that compound benefits over time, whether through personal development, financial returns, or social leverage. By distinguishing between fleeting indulgences and strategic hobbies, they protect their wealth while still enjoying enriching experiences. Unnecessary subscriptions and memberships are a subtle yet persistent drain on finances. Many people pay for gym memberships they rarely use, magazine or streaming subscriptions they seldom access, apps that remain idle, or clubs that offer little personal benefit. Individually, these costs may seem minor, but recurring small fees can accumulate significantly over months and years, quietly reducing cash flow and diverting funds from investments or savings. Wealthy individuals are keenly aware of this hidden expense and regularly audit their subscriptions, canceling those that do not serve a tangible purpose or provide real value. This practice reflects a broader principle of financial awareness. Protecting wealth often depends on tracking small leaks as much as managing large expenditures. By monitoring recurring costs and eliminating inefficiencies, wealthy people ensure that every dollar contributes to their long-term financial growth, reinforcing discipline and maintaining control over their money rather than letting it slip away unnoticed. Lifestyle inflation occurs when individuals increase their spending in direct proportion to income growth, often upgrading their homes, cars, or daily habits simply because they can afford it. While this may feel rewarding in the short term, it prevents true wealth accumulation because higher income gets absorbed by higher expenses rather than contributing to savings or investments. Wealthy people resist lifestyle inflation because they understand that exponential wealth growth is possible only when spending is controlled, regardless of how much they earn. For example, a $10,000 salary increase might be directed toward investment accounts, savings, or paying down debt, rather than buying luxury items or indulging in transient pleasures. The psychology behind this restraint is rooted in valuing freedom and independence over external appearances or social approval. By consciously avoiding lifestyle inflation, wealthy individuals maintain financial discipline, build long-term security, and ensure that each increase in income strengthens their wealth rather than disappearing into momentary gratification or status-driven consumption. Avoiding unnecessary expenses is not about living a life of deprivation or denying oneself enjoyment. It is about the smart allocation of resources to ensure long-term financial growth. True wealth is built through decisions that compound over time, not by accumulating flashy possessions or chasing status symbols. By carefully evaluating each purchase and distinguishing between wants and needs, individuals can make choices that strengthen their financial foundation rather than weaken it. Shifting one's mindset to track expenses, assess necessity, and prioritize investments over fleeting indulgences is crucial for sustained wealth accumulation. Even small adjustments, such as cutting recurring subscriptions, resisting impulse purchases, or avoiding lifestyle inflation, can dramatically multiply net worth over the years. The wealthy understand that financial intelligence, making informed, strategic decisions, matters far more than owning every luxury item or indulging every desire. By cultivating discipline and awareness, anyone can grow wealth steadily, proving that smart choices outweigh superficial consumption.